Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec back with another video for you guys. Today's video is TryHackMe, and we are doing the SOC Level 1 Learning Path Security Information Event Management module, or SIEM for short. And this is the Investigating with ELK 101 room. Investigate the VPN logs through ELK. Now you will need to start up a Kibana server, as you can see here. So be sure to go to task number 4 here and start that machine button because it does take 3 to 5 minutes according to this task here, for everything to spin up. I'm using the attack box to access it, but you can use the attack box or you can use the VPN in order to access the Kibana server. So just take that into consideration. Okay. Anyway, if you are enjoying the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you know everything that I post here, all that good stuff. Task 1, Introduction. In this room, we will learn how to utilize the Kibana interface to search, filter, and create visualizations and dashboards while investigating VPN logs for anomalies. This room also covers a brief overview of Elasticsearch components and how they work together, so learning objectives. This room has the following learning objectives: how to perform searches, apply a filter, save search, how to create visualizations, investigate VPN logs to identify anomalies, and to create a dashboard using saved searches and visualizations. Awesome, which you'll be doing this often when it comes to SIMs and such. Task number 2, incident handling scenario. A US-based company, CyberT, has been monitoring the VPN logs of the employees in the SOC team to detect some anomalies in the VPN activities. Our task as SOC analysts is to examine the VPN logs for January 2022 and identify the anomalies. Some of the key points to note before the investigation are the following. All VPN logs are being ingested into the index VPN underscore connection. So VPN connections for the index. The index contains VPN logs for January 2022. Okay. A user, Johnny Brown, was terminated on 1st January 2022. We observed failed connection attempts against some users that need to be investigated. So we're looking at the screenshot here. There's the index there that we're looking at, and then there's the events over here that we need to sift through. So over 2,000 hits there. Okay, well, let's get out of this. Task complete. Okay, I guess we just needed to examine the image there to see what the interface looks like. Task number 3, Elasticsearch Overview. Elasticsearch is a collection of different open source components linked together to help users take the data from any source and in any format, perform a search, analyze, and visualize the data in real time. So we have Elasticsearch for the E, Logstash for the L, Beats for the B, and Kibana for the K. Let's explore each component briefly and see how they work together. So Elasticsearch says is a full text search engine and analytics engine used to store JSON formatted documents. Says is an important component used to store, analyze, and perform correlation on the data, etc. And supports RESTful API to interact with the data. Logstash is a data processing engine used to take the data from different sources, apply the filter on it or normalize it, and then send it to the destination, which would be Kibana or listening port. A Logstash configuration file is divided into 3 parts as shown below. So you have the input part is where the user defines the source from which data is being ingested. Logstash supports many input plugins as shown in the reference, so you can take a look at that here. And it says the filter part is where the user specifies the filter options to normalize the log ingested above. Logstash supports many filter plugins as shown in the reference documentation, so you can check that out here. The output part is where the user wants the filter data to send. It can be a listening port to Kibana instant or interface, Elasticsearch database, a file, etc. Logstash supports many output plugins as shown in the reference documentation there. Okay, so you have input, filter, and output. And Beats is a host-based agent known as data shippers that is used to ship/transfer data from the endpoints to Elasticsearch. Each beat is a single-purpose agent that sends specific data to Elasticsearch. All available beats are shown below, and this is what they are here. File beat, metric beat, and you can see the rest there. So we can do all kinds of things. So basically, like it says there, it's an agent on the machine, on the endpoint, and then it sends that information over to Elasticsearch so we can look at it. And Kibana is a web-based data visualization that works with Elasticsearch to analyze, investigate, and visualize the data stream in real time. It allows for users to create multiple visualizations and dashboards for better visibility, more in Kibana in the later task. So this is what it looks like when they work together. So beats, like I said, data collection agent sends out to log stash. Okay, so we were missing that piece earlier when we are reading about a beats there, right? But anyway, so it goes from beats, it goes to log stash, data input, filter, process and output. Then it goes to Elasticsearch, index and store data, and then Kibana analysis and visualization. Cool. Beats is a set of different data shipping agents used to collect data from multiple agents, like WinLogBeat is used to collect Windows event logs. PackBeat collects network traffic flows. All right, so Beats it will be similar to, I'm assuming, something like Waza, right? Or maybe like Sysmon. So it works like similarly to those. My understanding here. A logstash collects data from beats, ports, or files, etc., parses/normalizes into filled value pairs, and stores them into Elasticsearch. Okay, so logstash does the parsing and things of that nature. And Elasticsearch acts as a database used to search and analyze data. Okay, database where you go and store stuff into it. Okay, Elasticsearch, and then Kibana is responsible for displaying and visualizing the data stored in Elasticsearch. The data stored in Elasticsearch can easily be shaped into different visualizations, time charts, infographics, etc. using Kibana. Okay, awesome. So Kibana is used as the actual like GUI and whatnot to look up the data and things of that nature. All right, cool. Question time. You know what to do. Pause the video, try to answer the question yourself, then come back to the video, and we will continue on. All right, let's take a look here. Logstash is used to visualize data. That is incorrect. Kibana is used to do that, as we just read above. Elasticsearch supports all data formats apart from JSON, and I'm pretty sure it does support JSON, so I'm going to put nay on that because we read that above here about JSON. If I could find the post real quick, or the section for it real quick. Yes, right there. Used to store JSON format documents. There we go. Task number 4, Kibana Overview, and I already have it fired up over here. As we covered a brief intro of Kibana in this room, we will explore different Kibana features while investigating the VPN logs. Kibana is an integral part of Elasticstack that is used to display, visualize, and search logs. Some of the important tabs we'll cover are the following. So we have the Discover tab, visualization, and the dashboard. All right. Room machine. This is basically just telling you how to connect to it. Okay, if you're going to do it through the VPN, you're going to do it through the attack box and access it. Obviously, I'm using the attack box there, so we're going to complete that. And task number 5, Discover tab. Kibana Discover tab is a place where analysts spend most of their time. This tab shows the ingested logs, also known as documents, the search bar, normalized fields, etc. Here, analysts can perform the following tasks: search for the logs, investigate anomalies, apply filters based on search term, time period. All right. First, let me get logged in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and log in. All right. Cool. So now that's getting logged in there. There's a Discover tab here, as we were just talking about earlier. I had mentioned that. Discover tab within Kibana interface contains the logs being ingested manually or in real time. Time chart, normalized fields, etc. Analysts spend most of their time in here, right? So if we want to take a look at the little breakdown here, they're going to go into it here in a minute. But this is what it looks like. Events down here. You got a little chart up here, graph up here, and then you got where you can arrange the time frame up here. Right, start and end time frame. You know, got the search bar up here to put your search criteria in, filters options here. Okay, index, we're using that VPN connections. Then on the side here, you got different fields you can choose from in there. All right, and then it's telling us we're on the Discover up there. But anyway, let's see here. So when you go to Overview, all right, well, there's dashboards, all kinds of nifty things inside of here. There's Discover tab. Okay, it looks kind of wonky here. We'll probably um, open up in the bigger full screen here. That's the word I'm looking for here. So let's minimize this for now. And there we go. Cool. All right. So now we got that settled. Some key information, logs, documents. Each log here is also known as a single document containing information about the event. It shows the fields and values found in the document. All right, and you already saw that down here where we're looking at. Then fields pane, number 2, left pane. On interface, it shows the list of fields parsed from the logs. We can click on any field and add the filter or remove it from the search. Okay, and that's over here. All right, I'm not going to go through all these here, but you can pause the video and read through them yourself. All right, number 3, index pattern right there. And then number 4, search bars. We saw that earlier up here. Number 5, time filter over there. And then number 6, time interval right here in the middle. And then number 7, the top bar over there. I'm assuming they're talking about this up here. Okay, cool, good to know. Each important element found in the Discover tab is briefly explained below. So time filter, I mean, it sounds pretty much straightforward to me, but let's go ahead and see. The time filter allows us to apply a log filter based on the time. It has many options to choose from. You can see that here, absolute time, relative time, now, and then there's the dates. There's the actual times you can set here on the side. Okay. All right, if we want to mess around with it and go back here, we can go to, okay, let's see. All right, so we need to adjust this time so that, there we go. This is what I'm looking for here. All right, go to absolutes. When you go back to January 1st, right? Yeah, January 1st, 2022. All right, I will just put this in there for now. I'll probably have to look at this again later. So let's go back to January again. Actually, go to the second, and then we'll go all the way to 0. All right, just to see what it looks like in here, we'll click update there. See that stuff piling in here, and we do all kinds of hits there. Okay, that's pretty neat. Good to know there. Quick select. The quick select tab is another useful tab within Kibana, which we just saw that on the date. The refresh every option at the end of this says will allow us to choose the time to refresh the log continuously. If 5 seconds is set, the log will refresh every 5 seconds automatically. Okay, and we didn't see that. But we saw it. We didn't play around with it or anything down there. But it's down at the bottom. Okay, good to know there. And timeline pane provides an overview of the number of events that occurred from the time/date as shown below. We can select the bar only to show the logs in any specified period. The count at the top displays the number of documents/events it found and select the time, which we already saw that. The bar is also helpful in identifying the spike in the logs. We got an unusual spike on 11th January 2022, worth investigating. Cool. All right, so they went all the way down to January 31st. So let's just follow along here. We should see something similar. Okay, let's see. It's running. All right, well, I guess not. Index pattern. Kibana, by default, requires an index pattern to access the data stored / being inspected or ingested in Elasticsearch. Index pattern tells Kibana which Elasticsearch data we want to explore. Each index pattern corresponds to certain defined properties of the fields. A single index pattern can point to multiple indices. Each log source has a different log structure. Therefore, when logs are ingested in Elasticsearch, they first normalize into corresponding fields and values by creating a dedicated index pattern for the data source. In the attached tab, we will be exploring the index pattern with the name VPN connections that contains VPN logs. Cool. Good to know there. And we just saw some of that data over here on the side, like what they're talking about here. Okay. You can actually click on it and they'll show you additional information like such. See if you got what you have in there and if you want to actually see that as you're building things out. Okay, but I'm sure they're going to talk about that here shortly. Left panel fields. The left panel of the Kibana interface shows the list of The normalized fields, it finds an available document / logs. Click on any field and it will show the top 5 values and the percentage of the occurrence. We can use these values to apply filters to them. Clicking on the plus button will add a filter to show the logs containing this value and apply the button, the button will apply the filter on the value to show the results. They do not have this value, okay? Right there, plus and minus, right? So when add this to it, then you click that plus. If you want to remove it or exclude it, click the minus. All right, got it. Add filter button. Add filter option under the search bar allows us to apply a filter on the fields as shown below here. Okay. So this is good to know here, and kind of, I guess, saves time a little bit. Okay, I'm sure we're gonna have to use this here in a minute. Create table. By default, the documents are shown in raw form. We can click any document and select import fields to create a table showing only those fields. This method helps reduce the noise and makes it more presentable and meaningful. That's cool. So let's take a look at this real quick. All right, that's interesting. So we'll definitely have to fill around with it to get the hang of everything in there. But let's see here. Don't forget to save the table format once it's created. It will then show the fields every time a user logs into the dashboard. That's good to know there as you're building out these dashboards. All right, once again, there's some questions here. Pause the video and try to answer them yourself. Come into the video and we will step through it together. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Once you subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell. All right, so you know every time I post a new video. As you can see here, most people that view my videos, view my channel, are not subscribed. Now, if you do subscribe, it will help me get into the YouTube algorithm so that we can continue to grow our glorious community here. As always, thank you all for taking the time to watch. Have a nice day and enjoy the video. Select the index VPN connections and filter from 31st December 2021 to the 2nd of February 2022. How many hits are returned? All right, so let's flip over here to our VM, our attack box, and we are in Discover, VPN connections, already there. So we need to change this to, you got to go to absolute, and then you can change this to December, I think it said 31st, 2021. And make sure. Yes, 31st December to the 2nd of February. So that's the first one, and then the second one, we'll click here, and then February 2022. Okay, hit update. 2,861 hits should be our answer there. Okay, which IP address has the max number of connections? So let's take a look, see if we can find that information here. So we have source IP, we can see the top 5 here, and it's probably going to be this one here. This is the top one, so let's go ahead and grab it. Okay. Which user is responsible for max traffic? All right, so let's take a look here, username, and it looks like James is what we're looking for here. He's the top one. If I can spell James correctly. And it says create a table with the fields IP, username, source, country, and save. On the left side here, we can see the filters, and we need to get the IP, user, and source country. So let's go ahead and add that here. IP, user, and source country. Now we can see more information here, right? So we scroll up a little bit, we have our columns there now. Next one, apply filter on username Amanda. Which source IP has max hits? So let's do that. We'll go to add filter here, and username. is Amanda. All right, so it looks good to go there. Save. Awesome. Okay, so once again, we'll click this and we'll get this IP here, this 107.14.1.247 should be our answer for this question here. Source says max hits. On 11th January, which IP caused the spike observed in the time chart? Okay, so we're looking at January 11th and we're looking at a spike. Okay, so let's take a look here. Whoops. So let's see. All right, so there's the 13th, 14th. It says the 11th, correct? Yeah. All right, so um, let's get rid of Amanda. Maybe that's why it's what's throwing us off here. There we go. All right, so this is it here. So we'll click in here. All right, so there's two different IPs in there. The one that you need should be this 191 IP. In order to get that, you have to click on one of these bars in here. Click the one that's like has the most hits in there, and it should get this IP for you. So we're gonna plug this one in as our answer there. How many connections were observed from IP 238.163.231.224, excluding the New York State? Okay, so let's grab this IP, and then we need to exclude New York out of here. Okay, so let's go back over here, and let's see here. Filter, source IP, save. Then we need another filter for the state, New York. Okay, got it. Okay, and we need to, I'm assuming we got to fix that time in there. How many connections were observed? Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. I assume we have to go back and fix this. We had to change this back to December. That was December 31st, 2021. I did February 2nd. Okay, now let's see. All right, so that looks good to go there. We need to figure out how many connections were. So once again, we're gonna click this here, and it says 48. So that should be our answer there. Awesome. Task number 6, KQL Overview. KQL, which is the Kibana query language, is a search query language used to search the ingested logs, documents, and the Elasticsearch. Apart from the KQL language, Kibana also supports Lucene query language. We can disable the KQL query as shown below. If you want to do that, you can do it like this here. In this task, we will be exploring KQL syntax with KQL. We can search for the logs in two different ways: free text search, and then we have field-based search. A free text search allows users to search for the logs based on the text only. That means a simple search of the term security will return all the documents that contain this term, irrespective of the field. Let us look at the index, which includes the VPN logs. One of the source or fields, one of the field source country has the list of countries where the VPN connections originated, as shown below. So let's get to know if we do free text search and see what comes back. It's kind of, that's pretty much like doing like broad search, see what hits you get. Let's search on the text United States in the search bar and return all the logs that contain this term, regardless of the place or field. This search returned 2,304 hits, as shown below. That's an example of this one here, searching for things that have United States in there. Next one, what if we only search for the term United? Will it return any results? No results match your search criteria. It didn't return any results because KQL looks for the whole term or word in the documents. Okay, that's a good thing to know. It didn't return, okay, wildcards, there we go. KQL allows the wildcard, which is the star asterisk, to match parts of the term or word. Let's find out how to use this wildcard in the search query. Search query, so United and then star United, then anything after that, and it'll pull back that information there. Okay, pretty straightforward. We have used the wildcard with the term United to return all the results containing the term United and any other term. If we had any logs with the term United Nations, it would also have returned those as a result of the wildcard. Logical operators and or not. KQL also allows users to utilize the logical operators in a search query. Let us see some examples. So OR operator will use the OR operator to show logs that contain either the United States or England. So United States or England. It's pretty straightforward there. And if it has both in there, so United States and Virginia, right? Then not. Similarly, we can use not operator to remove the particular term from the search results. So there you go there. So they want stuff that has United States and not Florida. So they're excluding Florida from the results. Field-based search. Once again, you can type in the fields on the side there and the bar up here, and then build your queries off from there. Okay. So in the field-based search, we will provide the field name and the value we're looking for in the logs. Search has a special syntax of field colon value. It uses a colon as a separator between the field and the value. Let's look at a few examples. So search query, source IP, you can see the rest there. So they have the colons in there, and then the items they're going to search on. Okay, explanation, we're telling Kibana to display all the documents in which the field source IP contains the value .54 and username Solman as shown below. All right, so if you want to take a look at that here, it's good to know there. So they're manually typing it in up here and building it out. As we click on the search bar, we will be presented with all the available fields that we can use in our search query. To explore the other options of KQL, look at the official reference here. So check that out if you're interested. Question time. Be sure to pause the video and try to answer these yourself, and we will step through them together. All right, so let's take a look here. Create a search query to filter out the logs from source country as United States and shows logs from the user James or Albert. How many records were returned? Okay, so we need to get search country, United States, or source country. Okay, source country, United States. Okay. All right, so we have that, and then we need logs from user James or Albert. Okay. So and then we need the user. Okay, so Albert was one of them. Then username again. Okay, didn't do it correctly. Let me select it right. Okay. And it was James. So let's scroll down. All right, there's James. Hit update. We have 161 hits there, so that should be our answer that we're looking for here. As user Johnny Brown was terminated on 1st January 2022, create a search query to determine how many times the VPN connection was observed after his termination. So we need to change the username to Johnny Brown. So I'm going to copy this here. And so after January 1st, 2022, okay, let's delete, so we can delete both of these out of here. All right. And we can get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. Update here, and we'll need to, so only one hit according to this. So we didn't even need to adjust the time. and that was on the 7th. There we go. Task number 7, creating visualizations. The visualization tab allows us to visualize the data in different forms, like table, pie charts, bar charts, etc. The visualization task will use multiple options to options. This tab provides to create some simple presentable visualizations. Create a visualization. There are multiple or few ways to navigate to the visualization tab. One way is to click on any field in the Discovery tab and click on the visualization as below. So if you want to do that, you can take a look like this. Okay, it's pretty neat to know. We can create multiple visualizations by selecting options like tables, pie charts, etc. Correlation option. Often we require creating correlations between multiple fields. Dragging the required field in the middle will create a correlation tab in the visualization tab. Here we have selected source country as the second field to show a correlation among client source IPs. Interesting. So we can also create a table to show the values of the selected columns, selected fields as columns as shown below. I like this view here, and you can sort it too. The most important step in creating these visualizations is to save them. Click on the Save option on the right side and fill in the descriptive values below. We can add these visualizations to the already existing dashboard, or we can create a new one as well. So if we want to save it, you can do like this. Steps to take after creating visualizations: create a visualization and click the Save button at the top right corner. Add the title and description to the visualization. We can add the visualization to any existing dashboard or a new dashboard. Click Save and Add to the library when it's done. Failed connection attempts. We will utilize the knowledge gained above to create a table to display the user and the IP address involved in failed attempts. Neat there. And we need to go ahead and do that because you have to answer some questions apparently. So we have 2 questions here. So we should create that dashboard to answer these questions. They come at the video and we'll step through it together, including the dashboard. Which user was observed with the greatest number of failed attempts? And then how many wrong VPN connection attempts were observed in January? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. We need to find the greatest number of failed attempts. And let's get rid of this information here. So I have everything back to normal. So now we need to see what we have here in field types, anything of interest. Okay, we have action here, tear down, built. So there's a few others in here. Let's try to add a filter. We can filter on action and see what they have here. Action is, let's just say failed. There we go. Save that. 274 is the answer there. Should be our answer. I mean, we just filtered on it. We need to find out what the user it was. That was it. Okay. So now we can go to action again and then visualize. Then it'll take us to the visualization or visualize library here. And we can see the record still. And then now we need to plug in the user. And Simon is our user there. So let's go ahead and plug in Simon. Okay. How many wrong VPN connection attempts were observed in January? You can also add this too. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, and it just says Simon there. Okay, cool. So now we need to get the wrong VPN connection attempts in January. And let's flip back over to Discover. Let's get rid of this here. And I think we can just do just action probably. So let's do that here. Let's check out action. All right. And it says January, so let's see if we need to adjust that time. I don't think it gives us a date, right? Yeah, it was observed in January. Okay, so let's go to January 2022. Change this to January 2022, or yeah, January 2022, and then all right, let's do update here. Okay, and then let's see, 1296 is filled, and well, it says only okay. Well, need the wrong ones. All right, so 274 surveillance are there for the wrong ones, which would be filled, right? Because they're not successful. So 274. Okay, that could have been worded a little bit better, but it's fine. But now we know what it looks like in the visualization if you want to mess around in here. Okay, next one is task number 8, creating dashboards. Dashboards provide good visibility on the logs collection. A user can create multiple dashboards to fulfill a specific need. In this task, we can combine different saved searches and visualizations to create a custom dashboard for VPN logs visibility, create a custom dashboard. But now we have saved a few searches from the Discovery tab and created some visualizations and saved them. It's time to explore the dashboard tab and create a custom dashboard. These steps to create a dashboard are following. Go to dashboard tab and click the create dashboard. Okay, so when you go to dashboards, I guess we need to save those. Okay, let's just do wrong VPN, I guess. All right, so I guess we can apply it later on after we create the dashboard or whatever. So let's just save that now, and then we'll flip over to the dashboards. I guess we need to use that later on. Okay, so go to dashboard tab and click the create dashboard button. Click on add from library. All right, add from library. We already have a bunch in here. Okay, let's see. Click on the visualization and save searches. It will be added to the dashboard once the items are added. Adjust them accordingly as shown below. Don't forget to save the dashboard after completing it. I guess you select whatever you need. Create the dashboard containing the available visualization. All right, cool. So I guess we can click all these and see. All right, let's see what this one looks like. There we go. So now we have everything in here. You can quickly get that snapshot. That's the thing about dashboards. It gives you that good overview or snapshot of your environment so that if something looks funky, you can identify it quickly and then pivot off of that information and do some further investigation. So this is good stuff here. This is what you'll see in a lot of SIEMs as well, like Splunk, Google SecOps, whatever SIEM tool you're going to be using out there. You should have dashboards that your SOC analyst can reference and utilize to become more efficient at their job. Okay. So we're done with that. We played around with the dashboards, everything inside of here. And let's see if we need to do anything else here. So they want us to save it afterwards. But I don't think we need to save it. I mean, they obviously have a lot more than we do. They say filled attempts, a bunch of other ones in there too. So go ahead and save it, I guess, if you want to. But this is pretty neat. This is good stuff here. They're playing around with all kinds of things in here. Like you can do different things. Like looks like you can do some kind of exports and whatnot. So that's pretty neat there. Cool. Edit it and everything. That's cool. That's similar to like how Splunk works too. I'm pretty sure I mean, any other SIM as well. You build out those search queries and you can use those to visualize the information on the dashboards that you have in there. Cool. Awesome. So you can save the dashboard and we'll just call it test, whatever. Done. Done with that. And I guess if you ever go to dashboards, you can just Go ahead and select it. I mean, there it is. Yep. Nice. Okay, so we're done with that. All right, conclusion. In this room, we briefly explored ELK components and then focused more on Kibana interface and its features. While exploring Kibana interface, we learned the following: how to create a search query to search for logs, apply filters to narrow down the results, create visualizations and dashboards, how to investigate VPN logs. Yes, we did all of that. A lot of practical stuff here that we could focus on here. Awesome. So we are pretty much done with this room. As usual, if you want to support the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you all for taking the time to watch my video. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.